When an idea gets generated from wherever the source is coming from, I like the NGO I'm working with to run with it, just as though it were a great product we were desperately trying to get to market, for fear someone else will beat us to it. So how do NGOs change their mindsets and become more entrepreneurial? It's not easy, but it can happen. First, I would caution those of you charged with actually working with various benefactors to do what you would do in a normal, healthy relationship. Listen twice as much as you speak. And get to know your benefactor from the inside out. Ask questions, probe, schedule retreats and annual planning sessions during which you should analyze, troubleshoot, brainstorm, and set goals. Collaboration. We've heard that word a lot this week. Collaboration is a fundamental building block in business. And when motivated, like-minded people get together and set collaborative goals. And when that happens, great things happen. Learn to share, learn to communicate, have conversation, and come to consensus. It's not about your own personal agendas. And within CARE, one thing I have found out, there are lots of people with their own agenda and without the clear vision of the big picture of where CARE needs to go. And speaking of goals, you may have heard this before, but on chance you haven't, let me tell you about some people at Harvard Business School learned about achieving goals. A few years back, they conducted a study with some MBA graduates. The young men and women were asked, have you set clear written goals for your future? One of those that were asked the question, 3% had written goals, 13% had goals that had not been written down, and 84% had no specific goals. 9 years later, the researchers followed up. They found that the 13% with unwritten goals were making twice as much as the 84% with no goals. But the amazing thing was, those 3% with clear written goals were making 10 times as much as the other 97% combined. Granted. Now, Harvard was tracking earning power, but what if they hadn't been? What if they had been tracking the depth of commitment between a philanthropist and his or her favorite charity? What if they had been tracking the impact of a philanthropist's giving? Do you really think the results would have been fundamentally different? Of course not. Goals are goals, and when you write them down and share them with others, then they take on a life of their own, and more often than not, have a way of becoming a reality. One last thought. I want to leave this with you. I know the attitude for philanthropy varies from country to country, and that the spirit of giving is not equally strong in all parts of the world. But what is universal? What is universal is the human spirit. Each of us has something inside of us which motivates us to do the things we do. I give because I want to help change the world. I give because my parents from the beginning of my life taught me how to reach out and touch others. I give because I'm blessed with more financial success than I ever thought possible, and I want to use it at least in some way to help my fellow man. And CARE is the NGO that I chose to do this with. And CARE is what motivates me. That's what motivates me. But it might not motivate other people throughout the world, not in Vietnam, Mali, Rwanda, or even Central Europe. What is incumbent upon us and what is incumbent upon you is to do your homework, particularly in cultures which do not have a deep tradition of philanthropy. Learn about potential donors, study them, figure out a way to touch their heart. Get to know them as people, not just as targets. Find out what makes them tick and then get creative. Challenge yourself to find ways to trigger the giving impulse within them, and then spend the rest of your time worrying about what they're getting out of your relationship rather than what you're going to get out of it. Think long-term as well. Don't just make an ask and then walk away. Create a symbiotic coming together of your mission and your benefactor's means, and nurture it just as you would any relationship that truly matters in your life. And last but not least, I can't stress enough, stop thinking so much like bureaucrats and start thinking more like entrepreneurs. As an organization, become more nimble, become more flexible, and definitely become more intuitive. Collaborate, set goals, and never forget to act quickly. Believe me, the world is moving pretty fast. And in closing, I would like to reinforce that I love what you do. I'm in awe of what you do. I and many philanthropists want to join you in making a difference. We want to be your partners in waging this war against poverty. However, we are often disappointed when you don't make a place for us at the table. The message that we continue to get is give us the money and let the experts deal with the issues. The problem within your organization is you're working in silos, and it's the silos have got to be broken down. Because if we don't do it at the top, it's going to affect everybody in this room. Further aggravating the matters, and this is something that really gets to me and a lot of philanthropists. We're in a very celebrity-driven society. Work gingerly with those celebrities. Be careful. Do your homework on those celebrities because they tend not to live their lives according to the way you all want your lives to be portrayed out there and the people that you're helping. Because many of these celebrities are jumping on the charity bandwagon to help themselves look better in the eyes of the public. Use them, but use them with caution. Use them gingerly, but also make sure that you don't put them so far in the front that you're forgetting about the people that are really giving you the money, they're really out there working, because you know what, philanthropists have feelings too. We really do, and we get a little hurt by that. So I'm just asking you to be careful there. We need proper stewardship. We want transparency and we want accountability. And we want regular communication about deliverables and outcomes. I know what's happened to me so often with CARE and with all the work I put in, I get blindsided and I get surprises all the time. And I beat up on them. I said, don't you ever do that to me again. You let me know what is going on. My friends, we're in an economic crisis. Believe me, it's going to affect everybody in this room, and it's getting worse and worse by the day. And if you don't think that you're immune to it, you really have got to think twice. So all I'm asking is don't push us away. We're here for you, we love you, we care about you, and we are wedded to your mission. So thank you very much for taking the time to listen to me.